TikTok is being banned for real this time. The bill pretty much passed with bipartisan support. It looks like 50-0. And once it passes the House and the Senate, Biden already said that he would sign the ban into effect. So TikTok will have 6 months to make one of two choices: either accept the ban and it will be deleted from all of our devices, or they can sell the company to an American company. So what's the problem with TikTok? TikTok is based in the United States, based in Los Angeles, employs almost 10,000 people, and the wages that they make are very, very high. Maybe it's an attempt optically to have some leverage to make the government here less likely to ban it because it pumps so much money into the economy, and it really does pump a lot of money into the economy. Regardless, national security is always going to take precedence over anything else. I'm sad for the creators that have made a living on there. I'm sad for people that were running businesses, Shopify-based businesses off of there. And I'm just generally sad for all of the people in Los Angeles that are going to lose their jobs. We are better safe than sorry. And when does anything ever get passed with bipartisan support, especially these days? The fact that both Republicans and Democrats want this app gone really should tell you something. Aside from that, the problem with TikTok is TikTok's parent company, and this is the real problem, is a company called ByteDance. ByteDance has 60% ownership by Americans, but a large portion of ByteDance is also owned by the Chinese. The problem with the Chinese ownership is that Americans' data needs to be shared with the CCP. They cannot hide anything. If the CCP requests information from TikTok, from ByteDance, they need to give the CCP that information. There is no choice. That's how their government works. And the concern is right now TikTok is installed on 170 million devices. Who knows what the Chinese might have done in the future with TikTok? We just don't know.
You said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
The platform should be banned. I expect today you'll say anything to avoid this outcome.
You gave me only generalized statements that you're investing, that you're concerned, that you're doing more. That's not enough for me.
Any ByteDance employees in China, including engineers, currently have access to U.S. data.
Congressman, I would appreciate this is a complex topic.
ByteDance doesn't only own TikTok. ByteDance also owns CapCut, Temu, and Shein, which are also installed on a lot of American phones. I don't know if they're going to address those apps. I think that right now the main concern seems to be TikTok, which brings the other side of the argument to say that this is suppressing speech, that we're not getting the same information on TikTok that we're getting on Instagram and Twitter and these American-owned companies, and that this is an attempt to filter the information that comes into this country. I don't know. All I know is if there's a national security threat, then we need to do something about it.
See this, I'm not surprised. We've seen in the Senate, the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA, also bans apps which have infinite scrolling features. They describe the functionality of TikTok and ban it. The bill is not a TikTok ban by name, but that's effectively what it would be. You know, we don't see that bill moving forward quite as quickly as this one, but it does seem that if it passes in the House, it would pass in the Senate. But I just don't think this is a policy that's popular. I think it's definitely not popular among young people. And it seems to me that it's a form of censorship to want to ban this app where 60% of the shareholders of ByteDance are not Chinese, to frame this as a way to, you know, weed out foreign interference in American society. It just seems pretty dishonest when that's true of the parent company, and also you have TikTok being a US-based company as well.
The fundamental problem for me, I guess, is that even though the shareholders are mostly not Chinese, any company that has its headquarters in China or is considered a Chinese company is under the thumb of the Chinese Communist Party. That's just how it works there. If you're doing business in China, you are beholden to what the CCP wants you to do. ByteDance has been pretty cagey about whether or not they share data with the Chinese Communist Party. They've claimed that they protect users, but realistically, that's just not how things function with the CCP. So I'm very skeptical of those claims. And then the other issue that I have is that TikTok has been found before to be manipulating algorithms and censoring content based on what narratives are convenient or inconvenient to the CCP. So, for example, the CCP would not allow a lot of pro-Hong Kong, free Hong Kong content on the platform back when those protests were happening.
Now, what does this mean? What do these outcomes look like? If TikTok sells to an American company, of course, the algorithm is going to seriously go back a few years, because I doubt that TikTok is going to sell to an American company with all of its algorithmic secrets. The TikTok algorithm was good on a microscopic level. It personalized feeds like no other app can. Me and A got into a pretty heated discussion about this last night, and we were kind of talking about the national security stuff, which I didn't really see that much of an issue with it at first, but the more that he talked, the more I could see the concern. There's definitely a concern there. The other thing that I was telling A is the Instagram Reels algorithm is so bad. If I want to watch a cat video of some sort, I'll type it in and I'll get one cute cat reel. And then if I scroll down, somebody's feeding their cat to a snake. And that's pretty much how the Instagram Reel algorithm is. Twitter doesn't have an algorithm. It's all blue check based, and whoever will give a billionaire $8 a month. And as for the YouTube Shorts algorithm, it's nowhere near TikTok. However, if TikTok just accepts the ban and we all lose it in the App Store, that's going to leave a lot of brands, creators, and users displaced, which will inevitably send them over to Instagram if they're not there already, and YouTube Shorts if they're not there already. That's going to pump a lot of fresh blood, fresh creators, fresh users, fresh brands into these alternate social media platforms, which will inevitably bring more money. So maybe they can do more R&D to make the Instagram and YouTube algorithm a little bit better than it is, a little closer to the current incarnation of TikTok's algorithm. Right now, the Instagram Reels algorithm is TikTok's algorithm 4 years ago. It's just not that good. I don't get reach on Instagram the way that I got on TikTok. On YouTube Shorts, I do get pretty good reach, but that's only because I established a long-form audience. All I know is I am thoroughly going to miss TikTok. I know that a lot of people are like, just ban it, it's turning the kids gay, it's turning their brains to mush, and these are the same exact people that will waste an entire weekend watching Friends reruns, or will play Call of Duty for 9 hours straight. But if they see somebody pull out their phone for an hour and, go through TikTok videos, it's this huge issue because they personally don't like it. Regardless of how you feel about TikTok and how much trash you think is on there, it wasn't all trash. There was definitely a lot of educational content on there. I enjoyed the search feature because if I wanted to know the pronunciation of a word or a quick recipe or just any quick bite of information, I could just find it through TikTok search and get the answer immediately.
Calculate fractions fast. In 10 seconds each, let's multiply, divide, add, and subtract the same two fractions.
No sé. No sé.
All laid out in Article 1 of the Constitution. A definition of each, according to dictionary.com. A democracy is a government by the people, a form of government in which the supreme power...
I'm sharing the recipe for my sourdough bread that I make every single week.
I didn't have to sit through 10 minutes of HelloFresh ads and a creator that tells you to like and subscribe for an additional 7 minutes, never gets to the fucking point. These answers were immediate, and I utilize the search feature all the time for educational content. And believe it or not, TikTok did have plenty of educational content. Another thing that TikTok had that nobody else seems to have as much of is cats going to Starbucks and getting freaking pop cups.
Oh my goodness. Pascal, are you the cutest little kitty ever?
I'm literally crying.
Oh my goodness.
Because cats
are you actually crying?
That's a sin.
Oh, how can you not love that shit? How can you not love that shit? But anyway, I like to be optimistic about this. I think that where one door closes, another door opens. I think that perhaps we can go in a more positive direction. And maybe this will push our American tech a little bit further than it was, at least when it comes to algorithms. I think that this is going to force everybody to make a major pivot that's been depending on TikTok, which ultimately, as hard as it is, that's a really good thing. It's good to be able to pivot really, really fast, especially when you are in this creator economy. I think that creators overall are taking a huge hit here. One of the many hits that we've taken so far in 2024. But at the same time, again, I have to trust our government on this one. I would rather be safe than sorry. And if they're all seeing a threat here, then maybe there's a threat here.